Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is a little bit different because I am sharing some homework that those attending the free virtual retreat with Not Too Shabby will need to do in order to take the class I'm teaching there. This is all with the Enjoy This Life kit available at the Not Too Shabby shop. When you purchase the kit, the class is free. You can come and take several different classes by different designers like myself. This is basically what's in the kit. There's also an option to buy a die set that goes with the coordinating stamp set, and then the Fall Life plaid paper is an option add-on too. Okay, so here's the Enjoy Life stamp set. For my class, we're going to stamp out these 6 images first with black ink. I'm going to be coloring mine with Copic markers. You can color yours with anything you like. So if you prefer colored pencils, you can do that. Really, a lot of these things can be changed up and customized. And if you just bought the kit and you want some ideas, here's some ideas for you. So next I'm going to show you how I colored out these 6 images. They're very quick, very easy coloring, and so you can easily replicate that, and it's still really cute. Now I did use my E08, I believe, first, and I found that I didn't really need to use that color. I just really liked the other two much better, and the other one kind of got lost in the shuffle. Also, as I'm coloring here, you'll see the caps on the screen, so you can totally use the exact same markers that I'm using if that's what you want to do. Also, I ended up going over this fox one more time, exactly how I colored it, just to intensify the color a little bit. I used a warm gray 02, I believe, for the gray right under his little mouth. And then I'm using 3 different markers on his scarf. I'm only coloring with one color. I'm not doing any blending on the scarf. If you really like that blended look and you want to take it up a notch, you should totally do that. But my class is about making your own background papers. And so everything else is going to be a little bit more simple because we're really going to highlight and focus on that part. So now you can see I'm coloring up the little mug, and I'm using the same colors I used on the fox because this is supposed to be like a pumpkin latte. Maybe this one's like a pumpkin chai tea. So using the same colors, that's the YR65 and the YR27 for that. And those are the best 2 colors I found for like the fox and anything pumpkin for these projects to go with the papers I have. So a lot of the cardstocks, you're not going to have the exact same cardstock that I have, but you can use what you have and feel free to adjust your coloring to kind of match your pattern papers, and for sure match the papers in our kit. All right, so I colored up the other mugs, same exact colors, and I'll just show you real quick how I colored out the other things, like the pumpkin pie, which is so cute. I love it. So I definitely wanted to use this on one of the cards. There's several other images I didn't end up stamping out and using because the stamp set that is in this kit is so big, which, by the way, this kit is still available. The free workshop is not until September 14th and 15th, and so you still have time to get the kit, but I think there's a limited number left. Like, the last I heard it was 13. So if you're interested, it is linked for you below. You can click on that, make your purchase, and you can decide if you want to add on the dies and if you want to add on the plaid paper. And then you'll have the kit, and you can join in not only with my class, but several other classes by different designers. It's a lot of fun, and all the classes have a different theme to them, like mine is create your own background paper. So yeah, it's going to be a great time. All right, so we're finishing up with the coloring. The last thing I like to do with my images is to add a little bit of a white highlight with a white gel pen. This is a Jelly Roll pen size 8. So that's what I'm using. Feel free to leave this in and do it, or, you know, leave it out if you don't really care or you don't like the highlights. Really feel free to customize these things with what you have at home and what your preferences are, what you like. All right, here I'm going to show you all of the markers I used. So if you really want to make sure you have all the same ones or something similar, you can see them there. All right, next I do have the die set, which like I said is an option you can add on, and I'm going to die cut out all of those pieces just like that. They're so cute when they're die cut out. It makes me happy. Okay, so this is the pattern paper number 1 that we're going to make in my class, and I'm going to show you all the things you need to make it so you can be prepared when the class comes up. We're going to need a 6x6 stencil that comes in the kit, perfectly plaid. I'm using frayed leaf by Altenew and a blending brush and a 6x6 piece of paper. Mine is kind of textured, and then I also have some of the stamps clustered up onto one block. You see that there are 6 different images, 4 leaves, 1 mushroom, and 1 acorn, and some black ink. I'm also going to be using an array of colored pencils, and for this particular background, I would say colored pencils are going to be the best thing to use for what we are doing. So those are the colors I'm using so you can get a good look at them and get something similar. These are from Arteza. If you have those pencils, maybe you can get the exact same ones. I'm also going to do a little splattering with some gold watercolor. You can use any kind of splatter that you like, but I'm going to use gold on this one. So those are all the things you need for pattern paper number 1. And this is the first card we're going to make with it. We're actually going to make 2 cards per pattern paper I'm making for a total of 6 cards. So this is the card kit. So you can get everything cut and ready to go. That way you can make this card right along with me during the class. I have all the sizes written out here. I'm going to go through it, and then I have a screen with all of the stuff typed out so you can freeze it, write it down, cut it out. So that brown paper there is from the kit. It is from the plaid paper pad. You can swap that out for any of the papers in the kit. Pick one that you really like. And then I do some die cutting of circles throughout the projects, so you will need a circle die set, or maybe you have an electronic cutter that you like to use. So now I'm going to freeze the screen and let you see all the measurements so you can cut these out yourself. You can pause this, write it down, get everything cut, and also I did emboss my sentiment with white powder for that card. All right, next we have card number 2, also with pattern paper number 1 that we will make together in the free virtual class. And for this card, I'm using kind of a mustard card base. All my cards are going to be A2 size. I'm using a large piece of that patterned paper that we're going to make together. We're using just a 1-inch strip of that same brown. And then this is some gold cardstock or gold mirror stock that I'm going to use there. It's going to kind of layer over the top of that. I have another circle. You can see the size there. It's approximately 2 1/4 of an inch. And I will be using some foam squares throughout to pop things up, so make sure you have those on hand. And then we're going to stamp out the happy fall, y'all. And I just decided, hey, I'm here. I've got things laid out. I pulled out my walnut ink from Lawn Fawn. This is like the ink I just like best for this project, but a dark brown works great here. And it's just stamped in the bottom right corner of the card front. So I went ahead and did that. You can do that too to get ready. And here's all those measurements so you can get all your cardstock pre-cut for card number 2. And I have everything stored in a little sleeve for myself. This is our third pattern paper that we're going to make. For this one, I am using the Fall Life plaid paper pad. I am going to use this one that's kind of a pinkish coral color. But if you don't have that, you didn't get the add-on, or you didn't get it for free when you pre-registered months ago, you can use this pattern right here from the Enjoy Life paper pad. So next we're going to take this pumpkin from the stamp set. We're going to need some black ink. Those are the other things we're going to need to make this pattern paper. And we're going to use Copic markers. I'm showing you the exact ones I'm using. You can use any other markers that you like. We're also going to do some splatter with frayed burlap. Now, if you don't like splatter, you don't have to do any of the splatter on your pattern papers at all. All right, so this is the first card we're going to make with this pattern paper, and this one has a little bit of a special fold on it. So I do have the measurements again for you so you can pre-cut this, have everything ready so we can easily make our cards together. So you can see it's just missing a little bit at the bottom, and we're going to fill that in with the patterned paper. We're also going to use some paper from the Enjoy Life plaid, Enjoy Life pad, and that's that floral green piece. And we're using some of the ephemera from the kit. There's also a really cool die that says Enjoy This Life. We're going to put that on this card as well. So I used rip and stick sheets or double-sided adhesive sheets on the back before I die cut out those intricate words. So that might be helpful for you to do as well. All right, here's our fourth card, which is the second one with our second patterned paper. This one's a gatefold card. I did add a little pattern paper on the inside. I didn't include that in the measurements. They're just 2" by 5.5" strips if you want to add that on and do the inside of your card. All right, so for this one, we've got our circle, we've got our ephemera piece, which is that large bird, and then we have a bunch of little pieces. So when you see the measurements, you'll see that it says like 3/4 of an inch by 2 inches. My papers, especially the brown ones, are a little bit longer. I like to have them a little bit longer and then trim them off to make sure they go all the way to the edge. This one also has a brown stamped sentiment, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right now, again with walnut ink, right onto that circle so it is ready to go. One less thing for us to do because we're really going to focus on our pattern papers and kind of dressing up and using what's in the kit to make some fun backgrounds. I love making my own backgrounds, so we're going to be doing a lot of that in this class. There's your measurements. Make sure that you pause the screen, write it down, and then you can have all your stuff cut out. Let's see what our third background is going to look like. This one features ephemera. So you're going to want a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 by 4¼ inches, and then you're going to want your ephemera pack. And then I'll show you when it comes to the class what we're going to do with the ephemera. We're also going to use some antique linen distress oxide ink for splattering, but really any kind of splatter would do. Also, I have a piece of press and seal that we're going to use to make it easy to glue down all of our pieces. Here is that first card we're going to make with that pattern paper. It is a top folding card, so an 11-inch piece of paper cut at 4¼ inches, scored at 5.5. And then we have our pattern paper, which is also from the plaid pack. Again, feel free to switch it out for anything that you have or from the other paper pad in the kit. Also, the gold strip, you have to cut it quite long so it fits corner to corner, and then we'll trim it off so it matches the card. We have a vellum circle for this one and 2 pieces of ephemera. I pre-stamped and embossed my sentiment in white, and here are all the measurements so you can cut them for yourself and be ready to go for this card. All right, our final card, card number 6, is a shaker card, but you don't have to make it a shaker. It is a full panel shaker, and so this one can easily be turned into a shaker or not, however you want to do it. These are the shaker bits I'm using called Glass Slipper. They're from Trinity Stamps. Something flat, something clear, or even something glittery would work good. For the cellophane it's actually a piece of packaging. It's very easy to find in your mail or in your stamp packaging, but you can also use a flat panel shaker pouch if you have that. The cellophane just needs to be at least 1 inch bigger all the way around in order to create it. And you're going to want some double-sided adhesive tape for making the shaker as well. And again, feel free to not do the shaker. We also are using that Enjoy This Life die that comes in the kit. And then we're stamping and embossing our sentiment on kind of a rusty colored piece of cardstock with white powder. And we've got our 3 little pre-stamped and colored cute things that I showed you at the beginning of this video. And here you go, all the measurements you need to cut all the things for card number 6. All right, so remember, this is part of a free virtual retreat. This is your homework video so you can get prepared for this event and then come make these really cool backgrounds with me. And don't forget, there's so many other fun classes you can enjoy that day, 8 different classes. So if you have any questions about it or this video, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I will see you at the virtual retreat. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe because I have all kinds of paper crafting videos for you all the time. I'll see you on the next one. Happy stamping. Bye.